Operation Our Town was founded in 2007 to combat a deteriorating community riddled with drugs and resulting crime. It was believed that if the citizenry worked together to improve our community, we could literally take back our neighborhoods. To do nothing was no longer an option.
People have to remember what was going on here before Operation Our Town became implemented. The drug crime and the violent crimes in this county anyway, it was probably at the highest level, or probably the most that we've seen in a decade prior to that. Between the gang activity and the proliferation of drugs, that's the situation that we found ourselves in before Operation Our Town came around.
In March of 2006, it appeared the violence in and around Altoona was not going to end.
And they're fighting over who knows what, okay? It could be drug related.
One night, more than a dozen shots were fired near Evergreen Manors. The next day, shots were heard near the 2000 block of 18th Street. Then that same day, this. On busy 17th Street, cars slammed into each other after one car was fired into.
At that point, it was critical to this area. We were really hurting for funds. We were hurting for manpower, hurting in technology. And Operation Our Town gave us the tools to be able to get back on top.
Everyone in the community is affected by drugs and crime, but maybe no other group is affected more than our children.
Most of the kids come from homes that are somewhat dysfunctional. A lot of times they don't have a parent at home that can help them with their homework. They may not get the moral values that need to be instilled as you're growing up. All they see is maybe the big brother who's been a drug addict, or even some of the parents. We have kids in the program actually whose parents have died from drug overdoses.
A large number of overdoses, and I think the statistics said something about it being the highest in the nation, or one of the highest in the nation for this county.
The generations just seem to keep perpetuating themselves.
The human cost to our community is high, but drugs and crime also impact business.
A lot of the crime involving the business community, which results in a loss of their profits, a loss of their business, comes from drugs.
But you can see, especially back in 2006, 2007, you had the property crimes going up, you had crimes of violence going up.
Operation Our Town's mission: facilitate partnerships between the community and business to fight drug use and crime through proven law enforcement, treatment, and prevention techniques.
The Gloria Gates Memorial Foundation, our main goal is to try to break the cycle of poverty. And in order to do that, we have to address the factors that are involved in poverty.
We're able to supply a role model and to show them a side of life that they might not otherwise see, and to realize that there's a better way to live, and that they can rise above all that and make something out of themselves.
Because I know what could have happened to those kids if they hadn't changed their ways. If we can get the kids to do well in school, then they have a much better chance of staying out of trouble, stay away from drugs and crime, and then of course going on to higher education and then a good job.
Our efforts are designed to help strengthen existing organizations within our community so that they may serve and accomplish more. And by creating a dialogue between these varied organizations, we create a much more potent force against drugs and crime. Our future depends on prevention.
And we believe we can break those cycles to where these kids have a shot at living a normal, healthy, happy lifestyle.
Our desire and our purpose here at Joshua House is to help see kids move from where they're at to really what they're supposed to do in life.
What the Gloria Gates Memorial Foundation does now is helps kids stay out of trouble and reach their potential so that they're beneficial members of this community, so that they're an asset.
The kids ask for more and more food when we feed them. It's not unusual for them to ask, can I have more? So we'd like to give them more, but up till now we haven't had the money really to give them more.
And some of the kids may or may not get a real healthy supper. So they come to our program for this healthy snack, and it's a good way for us to lure the kids in every day. And Operation Our Town helps us with that.
One of the reasons that Joshua House is so good for the community is that it provides a safe place, a safe haven for kids to get off the streets, to get involved in activities.
Well, we've done everything here from hairdos for prom night to changing oil on a car to homework help to helping with more serious issues too with the young people.
Because of strong financial support from area businesses and an energized effort from the community, Operation Our Town has made a positive impact in our neighborhoods.
Since we got involved with Operation Our Town, we had the kids plant gardens outside. They put in 650 retaining wall stones by hand, 17 tons of dirt, 300 tons of material to put in the volleyball court, all of that funded by Operation Our Town.
We've built a large playground at the bottom of the street, which has given the kids a place to come to play and be off the streets.
Chief Ron Heller of Logan Township has a SWAT team that received close to $5,000 from Operation Our Town to buy these tools and one of these shields.
I really think they've made an impact. Crime is down overall in the county.
Operation Our Town helped to fund a total of 1,430 drug arrests from 2007 to 2009. That includes overtime for officers who make the arrests after their duty hours.
The different units, AG's office, state police, local law enforcement, they had their drug units. But of course they're limited in the amount of drug activity they could combat. The money from Operation Our Town would supplement those budgets so that more drug enforcement could be used.
Quite frankly, I don't know what we would have done without Operation Our Town. They provided us about $260,000 just for law enforcement alone. With that money, we trained management people, we trained electronic surveillance people. They gave us new technology to use on our war against drug dealers.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to Operation Our Town. I mean, without you all, we probably would have shut down.
A lot has been accomplished, but is the fight over? Of course not. We must continue to combat drugs and crime at every level. The fact is, drugs, the root of much of our crime, will always present us with new challenges.
We're concerned about some influx of meth right now. Bath salts thing is now all of a sudden becoming a big deal with kids.
Another thing we've been seeing in the area is the problem with methamphetamine, predominantly out west. It seems to be coming to Pennsylvania, specifically to central Pennsylvania, and we need to aggressively combat that.
Until one day one of them goes to school with a gun, or until one of them's arrested on drug charges. Until then, they're invisible and the community doesn't notice.
The after-school time is one of the highest crime times of the day as kids come home from school. The parents a lot of times aren't home. They're left to wander the neighborhood, and that seems to be when they get into trouble.
Law enforcement, they know that if these invisible kids are not helped, if their needs aren't met, then they're going to become very visible and very costly problems to society.
Prevention resources are more important than ever for our most important community asset, our young people. We need to pull together and become involved as caring members of our society, more like a family who looks out for each other. Maybe these kids have already figured that out.
It's about family, to tell you the truth. Like, we're all a big family.
The main word that we use is like family because we are.
Well, if it wasn't for the door, I'd probably be back in my house fighting with my family like we used to all the time. A lot of people here have actually helped me out and probably actually turned me into a better person, really. So when I first came here, I was always getting into trouble. And now I don't really have to worry about that because I'm barely getting any now.
So I've been coming here for a good 10 years or so, something like that, and they've done a lot, and it's a really good place. I mean, obviously you see there's a lot of kids here that don't have anything to do, and it's a good place to go hang out, and a lot of fun stuff.
We're making a difference in a couple hundred kids for the cost of locking 3 up. What makes sense? That makes sense to me.
There are many young people in our community that could benefit significantly from the treatment and prevention programs that exist today. But these organizations can't do it alone.
Altoona has been a wonderful place for me to live and my family, and I think a lot of people feel that way, and we want it to stay that way. And the way to do that, of course, is to support an organization like Operation Our Town. That's their main goal, is to keep us in a nice, safe, pleasant community.
If we didn't have an Operation Our Town, then some of these programs wouldn't exist. Really, it helps change some lives, gets kids off the street.
And by reducing the drug activity, you reduce the crime in general, and that's been a big benefit, I think, of this community.
Once the community is not a safe place, or is perceived not to be a safe place to be out and about in. You're not going to have as much business going on. You're not going to have people wanting to go to businesses. You can make the community a safer place to live in. It's also going to be a better and more productive place for businesses.
The future is you have to be alert, and you have to be vigilant, and you have to be in a position where you can combat anything that happens.
I think it would be a major blow to the area if Operation Our Town ceased to exist.